sisters that live on an island, and they're noble, so they're like royalty of their island. And I think there's 8 of them, 8 sisters. And their other sisters, they've had more sisters. Their other sisters have been slowly dying. The book opens with their sister Eluli, and I think that's how you pronounce her name, Eluli. She fell off a cliff, and Annalie, who is the sister who the book is in the perspective of, we're seeing it through her eyes. She's starting to suspect that some of these deaths of her sisters, and I think at the beginning of the novel, 4 sisters have died, all separately, in separate incidents. She's starting to suspect that they are murders and not just freak accidents. The next book is called This Poison Art by Kaylin Bayron. I read her book, Cinderella is Dead, last year and absolutely fell in love with it. So this book is really good, and I will see if I can read. It's going to be a little bit of a juggle. I'll say ahead of time that I'm not sure how to pronounce the main character's name. It's spelled Briseis, so I think it's pronounced Brizzy. The characters in the book call her that full name, Brizzy, and then Brie, B-R-I, as well. So I pronounce it Brizzy, but I apologize if that is not the pronunciation. Brizzy has a gift. With a single touch, she can grow plants from tiny seeds to rich blooms. When Brizzy's aunt dies and wills her a dilapidated estate in rural New York, Brie and her parents hope that, surrounded by plants and flowers, she will finally learn to control her gift. But their new home is sinister in ways that they never expected. It comes with a mysterious set of instructions, a walled garden filled with the deadliest plants in the world, and generations of secrets. There is more to Brie's sudden inheritance than she could have imagined, and she is determined to uncover it. So it's really good. I'm really enjoying it so far. Details that they kind of brush over in the synopsis is that Bree is adopted. Her parents she has 2 moms, which I think is wonderful. Wonderful inclusion in fiction. And she also has a great relationship with her parents, which is wonderful to see in young adults often. In young adult novels, you don't see that. Like, the teenager hates their parents, or they don't have both their parents, or, stuff like that. But yeah, it's really good, and I want to see if I can read more. And the last book I have is The Shadow in the Glass by J.J.A. Harwood. It's a Cinderella retelling, and the front says, a gothic twist on Cinderella that is truly exquisite. Once upon a time, Ella had wished for more than a life as a lowly maid. Now forced to work hard under the unforgiving gaze of the man she once called stepfather, Ella's only refuge is in the books she reads by candlelight, secreted away in the library she